Hi, I'm Mark Lawson, the CEO of the ECS Publishing Group, and I am very glad to be joined today by composer, conductor, organist David Cherwien. David has two new pieces that we're going to discuss today, so welcome, David.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Always good to talk to you, Mark.
Well, the first piece is a setting of Lord of All Hopefulness, and it was written for treble voices. Tell us a little bit about how that came about.
Well, it was a commission for one thing. An alto singer in the National Lutheran Choir, who's been in the choir for many, many, many years, who also plays violin. She and her brother got together to commission this piece in honor of their mother and father's 50th wedding anniversary. So she wanted it to have a violin part, of course, and for three-part women's, because I have a feeling she had some friends from National Lutheran Choir in mind to record it. So they could present this gift to their parents with the recording. So that's what they did. But they were also drawn to this. They wanted a hymn setting because their mother's an organist,
Hmm.
and they're drawn to this text, which is a pretty well-known prayer. It's kind of like a bedside prayer almost, but it doesn't just leave it at protect us through the night. It's protect us through all of our lives and our work. And so I think they just saw it as a prayer for the presence and peace of God. And so they wanted this particular hymn.
So you kind of hint at the beginning a little bit of Children of the Heavenly Father in the violin part. Tell us about what inspired that part and that connection between the two.
Well, you figured out my secret for one thing. um, well, a practice I learned early on from Paul Mons actually was when I'm presenting a hymn and text that are paired. The starting point is always the words, and something from the words, a phrase or a word or something, I would underline as kind of something that sparks something creative. And in this case, it would be that phrase, whose trust ever childlike. And I thought right away of the hymn, very dear to people up in these parts, Children of the Heavenly Father. So I just hinted at that, but then morphed to the second phrase of slain so that people didn't think they were on the wrong page in the hymnal or the introduction. So it just kind of became a counter melody that was the melody and then wasn't the melody. And
Mhm.
I just kind of went from there.
Well, then, interestingly enough, the next piece that you did, or the other piece that we're publishing, is a setting of Children of the Heavenly Father, but doesn't use that melody.
Oh,
So give me that background.
well, that also is a commission by a longtime National Lutheran Choir supporter who's actually this person and his family, his brother and their father were all long, long, long time supporters of National Lutheran Choir. And when the father passed away, he wanted to have a piece in memory of his father. Well, the choir sang at the funeral. We sang Children of the Heavenly Father. And he was very drawn to that. And I thought we used Paul J. Christiansen's setting, which I've always thought of is just perfect because it's so simple. It just lays it out there in a very gentle way with a very short introduction that does all that's needed. Um, the challenge was, can you do a new setting of that? And, sometimes new doesn't replace what was. You
Right.
just can't. And so in this case, I thought about it and thought about it and thought, and I thought, I can't replace that with, that tune stands on its own. Chris Johnson's setting is perfect. What if I just did a new setting, which wouldn't seek to replace that? I never have that operative anyway, but to replace that particular setting, I would just do another one, musical setting that could be added to a repertoire of
Mhm.
including that text. So that freed me up to be more expressive. I could bring more things out from the words that the Swedish tune maybe didn't, or
Yeah.
could just as a simple hymn. Like the middle stanza, from all evil things, it could change and represent what's going on there a little bit.
Right. And one of the places that stuck out to me was when, particularly the part that is God, his own, that tend to nourish, you go very quietly into that, but then you grow out of that within his holy courts, they flourish, and you have kind of this melodic ascendancy, I guess is what I would say, pattern that you've set up. And it really
Flourishes.
brings the text out in a great way, I think.
Yeah, and once I decided to let go of using that tune, the piece just kind of happened. And that, those of us that compose the way I do, where you just sort of see where it goes. I don't have an exact idea where it's going to go when I start out necessarily. Sometimes I do, but it just happened. And when it flows like that, I go, okay, that was the right choice to go this route. I have the beloved text, which is another topic, and all new music. But I wanted to keep it simple, so there's very little DVC in it. I didn't want to go more than four voices, and added the accompaniment in case conductors with choirs that aren't used to singing a cappella could still do it. But
Right.
it could be either way.
Well, I should mention this is in the National Lutheran Choir series, and you've had a long association with the National Lutheran Choir, but these are the first pieces that you've had with Janaea being the editors, Janaea Robinson, the conductor. So it's great to have that relationship as well.
Oh yeah, no, I've been very supportive of the choir. I'm still part of the family. I just gave up the day job connection with them and and go to everything, and I'm still very much a presence. Those are my siblings, so I feel very connected to them, and so I'm very happy to be included in this
That's
series.
great. Well, you've always contributed so many things to our catalog, and I would encourage people to take a look at your composer bio page. And I think at last count, you had 71 choral pieces on there. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
It is. I can't believe I'm that old.
Oh, well, thank you for taking time to visit, and I sure hope people will take a look at these pieces and enjoy your work. So thank you very much.
Thank you. All right.
All right, have a good day.
You too.